Is planning to review its travel regulations for top officials following Saturday's plane crash that killed the Polish president and dozens of political, military and community leaders. The focus of the accident investigation is why the pilot tried to land in dense fog and if the president or his advisers put the pilot under pressure to get there. Our Foreign Affairs correspondent Jonathan Rugman reports.
Amid spring birdsong in the woods of Smolensk, Russians were today mourning the Polish dead. The thick fog of Saturday's crash has lifted, but why the plane plunged into these trees, half a mile short of the runway, is still unclear. Russian investigators claim there was nothing wrong with the Soviet-era jet, that the control tower advised against landing, so the pilot may have made a fatal mistake by going ahead. In Warsaw, stunned Poles are still gathering outside the presidential palace to pay their respects. The sheer amount of candles warming the air, amid much talk here of a thaw in relations with Moscow. For talk of a Russian conspiracy has now given way to fears that President Kaczynski or his entourage may have played a part in their own deaths. Did the late president force his pilot to land despite bad weather? Did he ignore Russian requests that the plane divert? Investigators will now listen to the cockpit flight recorders in search of their master's voice.
In this investigation, there will surely be an examination of the sound, to amplify the background noise, to see if other people made suggestions to the pilot. We want to find out all the factors in the pilot's decision.
It's known as VIP passenger syndrome, when the passenger overrules his pilot. Did Kaczynski want to spend as little time in Russia as possible? After all, the Russians had massacred his people at Katyn. That's why he was going there, and fear of Russia dominated his thinking. This was the Tupolev 154, which crashed. In 2008, Kaczynski reportedly ordered its pilot to land in Georgia during a war with Russia. The pilot refused and diverted to Azerbaijan. But Saturday's pilot of the same plane may have found it harder to disobey. Today, relatives of the dead trooped into a Moscow morgue. The horrendous task before them to walk through 10 rooms of bodies to identify the 96 dead. President Medvedev paid his respects at the Polish embassy and has said he wants to attend Kaczynski's funeral. Poles have been touched by Russia's sympathy, from Mikhail Gorbachev to Vladimir Putin, who has put himself in charge of the investigation.
We mourn together with the Polish people. We will do all we can to carry out a full, objective investigation, which will uncover all the causes of this crash.
At the Kremlin, the flag was at half-mast on this, a nationwide day of Russian mourning, while in Warsaw's parliament, flowers mark the places of MPs among the dead. But the Poland they leave behind them is surely better than the one into which they were born. A member of the EU, a three-party democracy, and relations with the old enemy, Russia, apparently warming because of this disaster.
There have been angry protests